There are words that are not just passing sounds in the air, they turn into foundations or abysses in the construction of their destiny. Some phrases, repeated without reflection, act as a slow poison that erodes the foundations of their prosperity. Three seemingly harmless expressions, but when pronounced frequently, they cement the scarcity in the mind and even block the possibility of seeing alternative paths. You can be smart, hardworking, and prepared, but if these phrases are part of your daily vocabulary, they will undermine your efforts, because abundance is not enough for those who do not know how to receive it, and the first step to receive it is what you say. The words are keys that open or lock doors. When you repeat phrases that diminish your potential, the universe responds in the same coin. How many times have I said, almost automatically, things like I have no conditions or this is not for me? Each of these statements is not just an excuse, it is a brick on the invisible wall that you build around you yourself. Over time, this wall becomes a difficult prison. What's worse is that you lift it smiling, thinking they are just unimportant words. And millennial wisdom teaches that the human being is as responsible for his words as for his actions, because the word is not just sound, it is a disguised action. It generates thoughts, thoughts become attitudes, and attitudes, habits. If your words carry poverty, your life will soon reflect it. Many people blame external circumstances, the boss, the government, the economic crisis for their financial situation. But the truth is more uncomfortable. Often poverty begins with a murmured phrase in the kitchen, the bank line, or in a conversation with friends. Phrases that, like small stones in their pockets, weigh and prevent the advance. Therefore, it is essential to understand that language can be its greatest ally or its worst enemy. Imagine a market in a small old town where traders display their goods. Children run between tents and women discuss prices. A young man complains, I will never have money. Everything works just for others. Your father interrupts him abruptly. Shut up. Do not invite poverty to your home. Words are like guests. If you call them, they will be. That rebuke was a shock, but the lesson was recorded forever. The boy understood that language can open doors for abundance or necessity. Most err right here, believe that words are insignificant, which have no power. But it is in the seemingly irrelevant detail that the cracks are born that, over time, to overthrow the whole structure. Be honest. How many times have you overwhelmed with phrases like I'm unlucky, I will never get, or this is not for me? These words attract confirmations. You invite these realities yourself to live in your home. If you keep repeating them today, tomorrow they will be sitting at your table, sleeping in your room, and dictating the future of your children. Make no mistake, it's not magic. It's mechanical of the mind. What you repeat daily shapes your thinking. Thought defines your choices. The choices generate actions, and actions build results. This is the chain. Therefore, the words are fate. This truth may sound hard, but without facing it, no real change is possible. In the next parts, we will analyze each of the three sentences that, as sharp scissors, cut the wings of their potential. The first of these is simple and seemingly harmless. No, you pronounce it without thinking. I have no money. I don't have time. I have no chance. It seems just an honest description of reality, but it is actually a sentence you sign against yourself every day. In families that cultivate ancestral wisdom, it is taught to children. Avoid saying no when you can say not yet, because no is an end point, while not yet is a comma. In the first case, the door closes. In the second, it remains ajar. Who says not yet keeps alive the possibility of growth. Imagine two neighbors in equal conditions. One answers the question about opportunities with a no, it's not for me. The other says, not yet, but I'm preparing. Years later, the difference between them will be abyssal. Psychology confirms our brain creates limits based on the words we use. When you say no, your subconscious stops seeking S drills. This is what experts call mental trap. The quick response blocks deep reflection. You stop seeing alternatives that may be right in front of you. An old trader heard his apprentice tell a client, no, we don't have this product. The owner of the store firmly corrected, say, we don't have it yet, but I can get it. This small change not only increased the profits of the establishment, but transformed the young man's life. He learned to think of continuity, not the end. Years later, he became a respected merchant because he knew how to keep his doors open. Here is where many people break their own future. They think that no protects them from frustrations, but in fact that word steals their opportunities. By saying no, you paralyze while the world is moving. Low wages, difficulties, and uncertainties can be overcome, but if your language reinforces the idea of impossibility, everything else becomes secondary. No becomes a wall against which you repeatedly bump into. Ancient wisdom teaches, do not close with words a door that life left with actions. This is not mysticism. but common sense. As you breathe, the doors are open, but your language can close them. Many people use no for tiredness as a refuge that takes responsibility from them. However, it is precisely the responsibility that strengthens. Viktor Frankl, a survivor of concentration camps, wrote that the meaning is born when the human being chooses not to surrender, even in the worst adversities. No, take this choice from you. Each no you pronounce is a brick on the wall of scarcity. Each not yet is a window for the future. If today you realize that, you use no very often, this is a sign. From now on, you can start to change your language, because language changes destiny. And this is just the first word. The other two are even more treacherous. They act in silence, but they leave deep marks. The second phrase that pushes your life into poverty sounds smooth. Tomorrow. At first glance, it does not seem dangerous, but it is a trap in which thousands fall. Tomorrow is the illusion that feeds procrastination, advancing to an uncertain future what should be done today. In families that value prosperity, it is taught early on. Tomorrow is the word of the poor. Wealth is built with actions in the present. Poverty is sustained in eternal postponement. Think of someone who repeats, tomorrow I start saving. Tomorrow I look for a course. Tomorrow silent life. The days pass, the years accumulate, and life remains stagnant. The difference between those who thrive and who stagnate is not just on opportunities, but in the urgency with which each one acts. Whoever waits for tomorrow rarely leaves the place. This tomorrow never arrives because there is always a new tomorrow waiting. Over time, the habit of postponing turns into a lifestyle, and the lifestyle, in turn, shapes fate. Modern psychology explains this phenomenon by the effect of procrastination. Our brain prefers the easiest way, immediate refusal to effort, exchanging reality for future promises. It's like a loan. You buy the illusion of tranquility today and pay with the emptiness of tomorrow. There was, in a small town, an artisan who lived repeating, I will do tomorrow. The requests accumulated, customers would leave, and they wondered why poverty didn't leave his home. His neighbor, on the contrary, raised before everyone and said, I will do today so that tomorrow is lighter. A few years later, his destinations were opposite. One lost everything. The other became a respected man. The word tomorrow erodes the discipline. It sounds like a sweet song that packs you in false promises. It seems that you control the situation after all. I didn't say no, just postponed, but it is actually a slow erosion of will. Cal Newport spoke of attention as the most valuable currency. Each time you say tomorrow, you are wasting this coin. You deliver your attention as a loan to the emptiness instead of investing in something concrete. And it is the habit of investing attention, not money, that determines if you will be rich or remain poor. The danger of this second term is that it seems harmless. No one blames itself for a tomorrow. On the contrary, the person even feels relief. I will still do. But it is an illusion. Tomorrow does not exist. It only exists today. And today it decides what your tomorrow will look like. There is the grand and mistake. People think tomorrow saves energy, but in fact he steals her. Each tomorrow consumes a little of its strength, until one day you realize that there is no energy left to start. Jewish wisdom teaches, if you can do it today, do it. Tomorrow may not arrive. It is not an apocalyptic alert. It is pure logic. Time is the only coin that cannot be accumulated. You can postpone everything but time itself. Take a test. Tell how many times I said tomorrow last week. Each of these words is a crack in its future. If you don't stop, they will become an abyss. So far we have two words, no and tomorrow. But there is a third. It sounds even softer, almost innocent, and it is precisely this that transforms life into a silent stagnation. The third word, which softens its existence to poverty, is later. She is more dangerous than tomorrow, because this one promises an illusory day in the future. Then there is no deadline. It is a background bag where you play everything that matters, dreams, plans, actions, care with you and with those who love. The word then deceives because it gives the impression of freedom. It seems that you have lost nothing after all. You didn't refuse, just postponed it for an indefinite moment. But it is precisely this uncertainty that makes it lethal. Then it never arrives. It dissolves in a flood of small tasks that take care of life. Think, how many times have you said, then I call my parents, then I learn this, then take care of my health? And how many of these promises were fulfilled? The truth hurts. Almost never died in a Jewish family. A boy asked his grandfather why he always left a pen and paper on the table. The old man answered, so that there is no word after. If an idea occurs, I know. If an do so, I do it. Then steal the fastest time than a thief. This simple habit saved his grandfather from poverty and made him a respected man. Modern researchers describe this as the circle of habit. Each later asterisk reinforces procrastination. and procrastination becomes a way of life. The person does not even realize when he becomes someone who only promises but never concludes. The word then destroys confidence. People stop believing in their words. Partners do not see someone reliable. And when confidence disappears, opportunities as well. After all, opportunities go where they are received now, not after. Nassim Taleb talked about antifragility. Life gets stronger with challenges and impacts. But if each challenge is postponed for later, you don't strengthen yourself. It becomes a fragile crystal that shatters to the first blow. Reflect. How many chances have you lost because of this only word? How many times have money, projects for relationships escaped because you said later? These losses are invisible, but accumulate like a wall between you and prosperity. In Jewish tradition, time is a sacred resource. Shabbat teaches you how to value breaks, but pause is not later, it's a conscious choice. The difference is huge. When you say later, you are not taking a break. You are refusing responsibility. The most treacherous in this word is that it sounds smooth, almost harmless, but it is the gentle words that cause the deepest wounds and destination, because its effect is silent until it is late. And behold, the three words are chained: no, tomorrow, later. Together they weave the fate of poverty. Poverty rarely comes from a single mistake. It arises from a succession of small surrender crystallized in these words. But this current can be broken at any time. Just as words create the habit of poverty, others can create the habit of wealth. The question is, are you willing to replace them? Words not only describe reality, they shape it. Each word given is like a seed you plant. Some bear fruit, others, like not, tomorrow, and then, are weeds that will suck all their potential. Imagine a fertilized field ready for the harvest. Every day, however, you throw a handful of salt on earth and wonder why nothing grows. The words act the same way. They can kill even the most promising idea, said the Jewish wise. They taught, observe the words they choose, for the words of acts are born, but the acts, character, and character, destiny. When you get used to living with words that erase your strength, life itself begins to go out. A young student in a yes of a complains to which nothing worked, neither studies nor work. The master asked, what words do you most repeat? Without hesitation, the boy replied, then, tomorrow. I don't have time. The master smiled and said, here's your answer. You speak poverty and therefore receive it. Therefore, modern psychologists speak of the importance of internal dialogue. Kahneman wrote about the pitfalls of thought. We think we control our lives, but in fact we only control the words we repeat ourselves. If in your mind sound, I can't, it's not for me, or after, it will become your reality. But you can choose other words. You can start saying, yes, I'll try it now. That the voice shakes, that uncertainty persists. The strength of these words is opening doors. After all, wealth is not just money. It is also the people around you, respect, security, and tomorrow. But poverty always begins in the language. First, you speak poverty. After, you start to live in it. And here comes a crucial point: the habits. As James Clear said, small actions generate great transformations. A single word can be the first step. When you replace later with now, you're planting a new routine. This, in turn, pulls others, and gradually his life is rebuilt. Ryan Holiday used to say that the obstacle is the way, and it is true. The difficulty should not be reason to postpone, but a sign to act. Each time you face a challenge and choose to say now, you are strengthening your inner strength. In Jewish families, there is a simple principle: if you need help, do immediately. This creates an environment of trust and respect. And the same goes for business. Those who act at the right time are always ahead of those who postpone. His words shape not only his reality, but also that of those around him. Children hear when you say after or no, and repeat. Thus poverty goes from generation to generation, not for money but for language. You can break the cycle today. Just realize that every word that pronounces is a bridge to the future, or a wall you build. There are three words that seem harmless, but they are roots of scarcity. The first, I can't. The second, it's late. The third, this is not for me. They sound simple, but each time you repeat them, a spark goes out inside you. Think how many opportunities have been lost because you said I can't. How many doors remain closed by believing that it's late? How many talents stayed in the shadow because you whispered, isn't that for me? These words steal from you more than a thief at night. Jewish tradition teaches the greatest limitation is not out, but within you. When the people of Israel crossed the desert, their worst enemy were not the armies of others, but their own words. We cannot. We are too small. And these words extended their journey in 40 years. Today, science confirms what sages have known for centuries. Carol Dweck showed that a fixed mindset makes the human being hostage to circumstances. But the growth mindset begins with another word, yet. I can't, but I can. No, this is not for me, but I haven't learned it yet. A small word transforms failure into lesson and poverty into a temporary break. Morgan Housel talked about the behavior of money. We often spend not out of necessity, but because we say, I don't deserve it anymore. The words, this is not for me, become a silent consent to a life of scarcity. But when you begin to value your work, time, and your own dignity, money comes to value you. There is a revealing story about an Odessa merchant. He started with a small bank in the market. The neighbors laughed. You have no chance. You know nothing. But he repeated every day, I can learn. I don't know everything yet, but that's mine. Years later, he had a store, then a warehouse, and finally a business network. His wealth did not start with money, but with the words he said to himself. Here is the great misconception of many. Wait for external permission, support, or an opportunity. They forget that their own words may be this permission. Either you say yes in open ways, or pronounce I can't and lock yourself in a cage. Nassim Taleb wrote that life is built with minor bets and optionality. And that is also true for the words. When do you say I will try creates an option. Even if the step is small, it can become something grand. But if you say it's late, it eliminates even the possibility. In Jewish families, gratitude is taught for generations, because gratitude is a word that opens doors. When you say thank you recognize value, and this value returns. Such Ben Shahar stated, happiness does not come to those who wait, but who knows how to notice. Words are currency. Some devalue it, others accumulate wealth with her. And the choice is always yours. Poverty rarely begins with an empty pocket. It starts with empty words that you repeat yourself. Nothing will work out for me. I'm not lucky. I was not born for more. These phrases sound softly, but their power destroys more than any economic crisis. Remember how a child learns to walk, falls dozens of times, but never says, I was not born for that. It simply gets up and takes another step. Only adults invent words that justify inaction. Viktor Frankl survived the concentration camps where there seemed to be no room for hope, but he realized that while the human being preserves a meaning, he remains stronger than the circumstances, and the meaning is always expressed through words. When you say, I live for my family, or sigh for my future, he finds strength as far as he seems to be no. But if your words carry refusal and defeat, the meaning fades, and life gets hollow. There is a well-known story about a poor man who, every morning, began the day saying, nothing good will happen, and your day confirmed that. People avoided him, the businesses went out, and his heart became heavier. Meanwhile, his neighbors started every morning with, today there will be a chance, and the chance appeared. Because his eyes were open. Cal Newport spoke of focus as the most valuable feature. Your words are tools that direct your attention. If you say it won't work, you stop seeing possibilities. But if I repeat I'll try, your attention seeks solutions. I don't apologize. Jewish wisdom teaches that each word creates a world, the world within the family, within work, within the heart. When at home, words of respect sound, that home is rich. When complaints and denials are echoed, even gold loses value. The error of many is to devalue. They say, don't beat anything, and they live as if they really were priceless. But dignity is something no one can take. It exists because you are alive, and your words should remind you of it. Simon Sinek said, why? The internal purpose. Words help keep you alive. When you repeat, advance because I want freedom, each obstacle is no longer a wall and becomes a step. Angela Duckworth called it perseverance, and perseverance is born from the habit of saying the right words, even when the forces are few. I will take another step. I will continue. I won't stop. Simple phrases, but forging heroes. So ask yourself, what words did I plant today? They will be seeds that will suck my energy, or grains that will generate harvest. Those three terms that steal your life. I can't. It's late. It's not for me. They are harmless, but they make poverty a habit and turn dreams into powder. First, they are just murmurs. Then they become the backdrop of existence. And the more you repeat them, the more the roots of scarcity intertwine into your destination. The conclusion is straightforward. Fate does not change with money, but with words. They shape your thinking. Thought guides your habits. The habits generate their actions, and actions build your character. And it is the character that defines your whole life. If your words paralyze you, your life will be stagnant. If your words propel you, life will begin to open before you. Change the after for now. Replace I can't with I will try. Instead of it's not for me, say I'll learn. These small changes may seem insignificant, but they separate those who spend their lives complaining about the luck of those who rewrite their own destiny. To fix this transformation, start today with a simple mini plane. First, observe throughout the day the words you pronounce. Whenever you catch it after, Change it for now. Second, write 3 short sentences that move forward and repeat them in the morning and evening. Third, choose a small action that you have been postponing and do it today. You can only take sync the minutes, but it will be those 5 minutes that will mark the beginning of something new. You will be surprised by the speed with which life changes when words change. It is not magical, no promise of easy miracles. It is a practical truth. Words define direction, and actions consolidate it. And millennial wisdom teaches that the human being is not weak, he only forgets the power of discipline and purpose. Just remember the strength to realize destiny transforms where language transforms. Remember, 3 words steal your life, but 3 new words can return it. Say yes, say now, say it's mine, and you will see that the door that looked closed will open. You are not weak. It only repeated the words of the scarcity for a long time. The time has come to regain the language of abundance. Leave in the comments how these ideas resonate with you. May these words be the first step of a new path.